No, no, no is a complete sentence. And Lamot.
See, I have a story to tell, where I have been and where I am. Was wondering why life seems so hard, and how can I get out of my mess?
Hello, my beautiful people. I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are and whatever time it is. Welcome to Gracie Be Inspired. Today, I'm talking about a topic that I've been buzzing on for some time now. Some time ago, the topic just dropped on me because of how much life has changed for me as a person. And I was thinking about it and praying about it. And then all of a sudden, boom, I just kept hearing people talking about it. And then everywhere I went, the topic came up, and I just grew and learned a lot about this topic. What is this topic? I'm sure you're like, oh, what does she have to say today? Well, the topic for today is boundaries. 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 What is boundaries? What is boundaries? Well, from everything I've put together, from all my talking about boundaries, I've come to realize that boundaries is simply saying yes or no. Yeah? You're like, what does that even mean, right? I'll tell you what it means. Boundaries just means yes, say yes or no. What does that mean? There are times in your life where people ask you for things or ask you to do things. So boundaries is you being able to say, yes, it's okay, or yes, I'll take that, or no, that's not my cup of tea, or no, I can't take that from you. Simple. And based on my, talking about boundaries, I bumped into a friend who read a book, and then she told me about the book, A Line in the Sand. And then I decided to, get the book and read the book. I'm still halfway through the book, yeah, but just the topic alone, hearing A Line in the Sand, reminded me of childhood. I don't know how many of you played this game, but back in Africa, Abuja, where I grew up, yeah, we played that game a lot, me and my friends. What we did was we draw a long line in the sand, and we divide ourselves into two. Let's say we're 10 of us, 5 on each side, and then 5 stays on that side, and then the other 5 stays on this side. And then we get a rope, like a very strong rope. And then you hold it, the 5 people on this side will hold onto the rope. The 5 of us on this side hold onto the rope. And then we start to pull and tug and pull and tug and pull and tug. Yeah, as we pull, and whoever is pulled to the other side, gets out of the game. And then as each side reduces, like if this side reduces from 4 to 3 to 2, whichever side reduces up to 1 loses in the game. So what is boundaries? When I read that topic, I just put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, yes, boundaries is actually not going into the line of the other person. The line in the sand, that is your side. This is my side. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, don't enter my lane. And boundaries are different for different people, and we create boundaries based on different things that we've gone through in life. As a person, for a long time in my life, I didn't have boundaries. I didn't have boundaries at all. And why was this? Because I grew up in a home where I was the youngest, and I was the only girl. So 2 things were working against me. I had 6 brothers bullying me. So yeah, so 2 things were working against me. I was the youngest. So being the youngest, everyone gets to command you and tell you what to do, and give instructions to you. Okay, you have to do this, you have to do that. And then being the only girl also means that you have to be in the kitchen all the time cooking for the boys and not being able to say I'm tired. So I grew up in that kind of home, and because of that, I didn't even know how to be an older person, even to younger people, because I was always feeling like the younger person who took all the rubbish from everyone. So this affected me really badly, even into friendships. Like I was always the one, taking all the rubbish and doing things for people over and over again, even up to relationship and making a choice of a husband, I always thought that I was the one who had to do things without having to accept other people doing things for me. And because of that, people threw a lot of things at me. I'll just cite a few examples of experiences that I've had where people have not respected my boundaries. And that is because I did not make my boundaries clear to these people. So what are boundaries without you making them clear? Yeah? What are boundaries without you making them clear? When you have your boundaries. I had this long time friend. You know this talk we had about a friend, you have friends for different reasons, a season, a lifetime, or a reason. So I had this friend, you know, as I said in that video, I always wanted to keep all my friends for a lifetime. So I had this friend who, you know, we just went in secondary school together and everything was cool. And then we kind of reunited again, even after marriage, because she came, I was living in the city where I lived. And then I just wanted to please her. Everything I wanted to do was to please her. And I just realized she was, she just saw me as that secondary school girl who was always pleasing people. But at this point in my life, I was in a place where I wanted to create boundaries and I just wanted people to respect me and respect my yeses and my nos. And I didn't want it to look like I was a bad person because I was quite a people pleaser. I was so much, in fact, even now, I'm such a people pleaser that whenever I say no to someone, I go and I kind of feel so guilty for a long time. But I've realized that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. It's okay not to please people. Yeah. And so I read this quote at a point in my life, and that really helped me. It says, stop asking why people keep doing things to you. Start asking why you keep allowing it. So whatever anyone does to you, it's because you have allowed it. Yeah, it's because you've allowed it. If someone does something to you and you say, no, don't repeat this, I don't like that. No, stop it there. Or no, I don't like that. The person will not repeat it again. But when someone repeats something, does something to you, and you go on and say, they should know. They don't know. They can't know. It's your boundary, not theirs. So tell them what you want. Tell them how you want to be treated. What is the difference? What are the different types? What are the different types of boundaries? You have the emotional, you have the material, you have the time and energy, you have the mental, and you have the physical. So those are the different kind of boundaries. Emotionally, who do you let into your boundary, into your line? Who do you let in? Material wise, like the boundaries around your possessions. Who do you give access to your possessions? Do people feel like they have a right over your things without permission? And mental, the freedom of your own thoughts and your values and your opinion about life, being able to respectfully disagree with other people and say, no, that's your opinion, but this is mine, and you stay in your opinion, stay in your line, as I say. Yeah, the physical has to do with proximity and touch and unwanted comment regarding your appearance or sexuality. It's your opinion. Keep it to yourself. And then the time and energy is the boundaries with like lateness. When someone is always late, I know I'm always late. My boundaries there are really bad. So when I'm late, all my friends know that, oh, she'll be late. But I'm trying to change. I'm trying not to be able to create boundaries in that. So I have to also respect other people's time. So people respect my time. Yeah. So boundaries, how do they sound? Because some people will say, I don't really understand what this boundaries that we keep talking about means. How does this sound? I'll give you examples. I will end this phone call if you continue to shout at me to someone and that person respects you. And if the person keeps shouting, don't just threaten and leave it. End the call. End the call to show that you're serious about your boundaries. And then also, you can also say, I need time to think about it. I'll come back to you. And then that might be you saying, I don't really want to talk about it. And that's a diplomatic way of going about it, even though it's always better to say, I don't want to talk about it. And then boundaries can also say, I can stay for half an hour. I don't respond to work emails at the weekend. Thank you for your offer, but unfortunately, I can't make it. It's a polite way of creating boundaries. I'm not comfortable with that. If you do it again, I'll have to leave. when someone does something that you're not comfortable with. I'm not comfortable discussing that. Please do not discuss it with me. That's another way. I respect your opinion, but this is my life and it's my decision. When people want to run your life for you, they want to actually tell you how to live. I remember, at a point in my life where I was making a major decision and people were like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I'm like, it's my decision, it's my life. I choose as an adult to make decisions for myself. And whatever the repercussion is, I'll live with it. Yeah. So we have to be very, very sensitive in the way we respond to people so that they don't enter your lane. So that they don't enter our lanes, so that they don't, break your boundaries. And it's also important for you to respect other people's boundaries, because if you don't respect someone's boundaries, then how will they respect yours? Do to others what you want to be done to you. One of the things that I realized that I did all the time was I overgave to every relationship because I wanted to keep every relationship and I didn't want to have enemies. I didn't want to have people who I was not friends with. But I want to tell you that there are times where you have to just let go. When a relationship becomes so draining and you feel like, oh, this is not getting me anywhere. There are times where you say, no. I think we have come to the end of our relationship. We can't go on. And then you just end it there. That is creating boundaries. So if the person actually values you, they can actually fight for that relationship. But at that point, they respect you and they know their limits in your life. So it's as I said, it's okay to say no. It's important actually for healthy relationship to say no. It means you learn to say no, because no is a complete sentence. It means you have to be assertive, be kind but firm. You use assertive languages, like if you talk to me like this or if you keep shouting at me, I'm going to end the call. It's assertive. You're not saying, oh, please don't talk to me like this. I don't like it. I'll end this call, being persuasive to the person. No, you have to be assertive so the person knows you're serious. Safeguard your spaces, set boundaries for your physical and your emotional spaces so that people don't come into your line, because you can't feel good when someone keeps overstepping their boundary in your life. Even though you're trying to please them, you're unpleasing yourself. So learn to think about you, as I always say. You get support, you reach out to a mental health professional if needed, because at that point where I realized that I was such a people pleaser, just always pleasing people, I had to speak to a friend who is who is a psychologist. I spoke to her a few times and I was like, I don't know why, I just like pleasing people, blah blah blah. And then she was like, okay, she gave me circumstances and situations that could happen. Even at my workplace, I had a staff and I was such a people pleaser that I didn't even want to upset my staff even when they did wrong. Instead of telling them off and saying, you did this wrong and I don't like it, it's my place of work, I actually was acting as if they were my employer. You see how bad I was, yeah? You see how bad I was, yeah. So, and that also, even in my marriage, things happened over and over and over again, and I just took it over and over and over again. And the man is like, okay, she's a taker, she's gonna take it, she's gonna take the hit. And then he kept doing it. And because he didn't acknowledge or did not recognize these boundaries that I had for myself as a person, he kept doing it and I kept getting hurt, and I got to a point where I couldn't take it anymore and I pushed back, and it's like, oh, what's changed? Why are you changing? Why are you pushing back? You've taken this for 15 years. Why can't you take it no more? So you see, it's important from the beginning of every relationship you find yourself, create boundaries so that people don't say, oh, you've changed on them. And even if you have to change on people, I have grown over the years, right? I've grown over the years and I've had to change. And I've had to be stronger, and I've had to say no and feel hurt and go to the toilet and pretend like I'm good and come out and keep going, because it's a practical step to stop pleasing people, to stop allowing people into my space. It was a practical step. So it was hard, but I read about it and I spoke about it and I, watched things about it and I grew in it gradually. And I got to a point where I didn't have to feel bad for saying no anymore. And then I could just say no. Because I meant no, not because I meant to hurt the next person, but because it's my inner caucus, it's my space. Yeah, sorry, don't mind me there, just being cheeky. you might be out there and you're afraid, thinking that, oh, all my friends will leave me if I start to create boundaries, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. Any friend in your life who is meant to be for a lifetime would respect it. Even when they see you change and grow, they will come and say, wow, I love this new you because you've grown and you've changed and you've matured, actually. And they would respect you for that. So test your relationships. Yeah, I'm giving you a homework. Test your relationships and see the no's that you say to people, and see if they will stay, if they'll stick around, or if they will leave and say because you've said no, they're leaving, then they're not meant to be in your life. Yeah. So don't be addicted to pleasing people like I was, because I was addicted to pleasing people and I wanted to stay sweet. I just wanted everybody to say, oh, she's such a darling. Oh, she's such a sweet girl. Oh, she doesn't like to hurt people. No, but I was hurting. So don't do that to yourself. Evolve, because I am evolving now. It's still a process for me. I'm growing every day and I'm reading about it. So take this topic up if you think that having boundaries is an issue for you, and start to work on it and work on it and take practical steps towards it, and walk away if someone keeps crossing the line. Learn to walk away, learn to let go of some relationships. When I started creating boundaries, I couldn't sleep. I'm not even joking. Like, because of these people that have been in my life, and I've just been always pleasing them. And then when I had to say no, they fought back because some of them could not just get it. And I couldn't sleep. I felt bad about it. Like, I would... I was such a people pleaser that someone would be obviously trying to hurt me, and I'm obviously begging for them to still stay in my life. So, and then when I had to say, no, I'm not taking this. If you do that to me again, man, it won't be funny. And one of the things that actually helped me to do that was because I could see me in my little girl. She's 9 now. I could just see me in her, because we are the first mentor that our kids will see. And if you don't have boundaries, even with your children or your relationship or your husband or your friends, your kids are watching. They're watching, and they won't have boundaries too, and they will get things chopped in their faces, and people coming into their, even as young children, and that's how people can get them to do things that are, that they're not supposed to do in their lives. So being able to create boundaries also help your children. That's one of the advantage of it, because for me, that was an inspiration. My daughter was such a people pleaser, so I just started to tell her, no, you can't be pleasing people. No, you cannot. She had, so on her 9th birthday, for example, she had a group of friends in class that she wanted to invite for her birthday outing. And I gave her a number. I said, I could because of lockdown, I'll take 3 people, choose 3 people. And this girl could not choose 3 people. She was like, but there are about 5 of them. But there are 5 of them in a clique, but only the 3 of them are my friends. And I'm like, yeah, I invited 3 of them. So, but I'll hurt my friends for not inviting their friends. And they might not be friends with me anymore because I didn't invite their friends. That really hurt me, yeah? And that really made me look at her and say, no, this cannot continue. Yes, at that point I was like, okay, no, we're going to do away with you bringing anyone this time. But next time you have to be able to choose. When I say choose 3 friends, you should be able to say, these are my 3 best friends and I'm bringing them for my party. Not feeling bad about the next person and not thinking about yourself. I had to educate her on that, because she's naturally a people pleaser, because I was a natural people pleaser. And I guess it's hereditary. And one of the things that helped me also was having people around you to tell you the truth. My immediate elder brother, he's just so amazing. You know what he did? One time I sent money back home to Nigeria to do some things. I sent it to my brother, right? And then I told him, and I called him and I was like, oh, can you help me send so amount to this person? And I started to explain the reason why I wanted him to send that money. And he cut me short. He's like, hold on, sister. It's your money. Why are you explaining to me how you want to spend your money? You worked for it. It's your money. I don't care what you do with it. Don't explain to me. He didn't know what he did, because at that point I was going through a process. Yeah. And then I was just like, boom, that is boundaries. Boundaries there. Because he knew the boundary. He doesn't expect me to ask him what he does with his money. So he doesn't expect me to tell him what I do with my money. So he just reminded me that, stop pleasing people. It's you, you're an adult. Make your decisions and live with them. So that is good when you have good people like that around you who are able to help you when they see your weakness, to create boundaries. Please hold on to them because they're real people. Don't give people too much info. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't give people too much info, because giving them too much info is letting them break your boundaries. So have secrets for yourself. Keep things to yourself. It's you. Keep your life story to yourself, because people can only hurt you from what they know about you. Yeah. So just in summary, I like to say self-care is how you treat yourself well and take care of you. So separate your feelings from your boundaries. Treat yourself well. Do the things you love. Do the things you like to do. Say yes to people. Say no to people. Say no, especially to people when you can't take something. Learn to say no. Learn to have boundaries. Learn to draw a line in the sand and tell them, hey, don't enter my lane. If you enter my lane, you're in trouble, man. Yeah? So when you try that, people will respect you more, and people will know that, yeah, and this world will be a better place, because I'll not be looking for your trouble, you'll not be looking for mine. So I'll respect your boundaries, you respect mine. So if you're out there and you don't like boundaries, or you don't have boundaries, or people don't give you boundaries, or you don't give people boundaries, whichever one you are, please, 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 please learn to respect people and respect their spaces and respect their yeses and respect their nos, and let people respect you back. And the world will be much better, and we'll not have all this emotional roller coaster we're having all over the world. Yeah? So I hope I've been able to drop a line to just remind you on how to be a better person, because that's all I love to do. Be in Gracie, be inspired. I just want to inspire you to be better. And I hope you've had a wonderful time. And you know, there's no me without you. So please subscribe and like this video and share to your friends who you want to create boundaries with, or who you want to, respect their boundaries. Share with them. Yeah, there's no me without you. There's no me without you. Have a wonderful time. And I love you as always. Have a wonderful day.
Suddenly I hear a soft, still voice.